Good morning, everybody. It is March 3rd, 2018, 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are 89 days, 13 hours, 14 minutes, and 30 seconds away from the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season. There is a reason I'm bringing that up, and I'm going to show that to you in an upcoming video. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gulf of Mexico is already showing signs of possible tropical depression formation. And I am not kidding when I say that. So that will be in a following video. But before we get to that, we just are getting to the end of this nor'easter / winter storm Riley that did a lot of damage to the northeast. A lot of power outages, lots of snow dumped in the northern areas of New York, Nantucket, and areas on the coast here up on the northeast. Received those winds of 90+ mile an hour like we were talking about. A very, very intense storm. Like I said, it is making its way out. We could see this on a few different charts here. Just that rotation, that's what you always look for with these nor'easters. They use power from the ocean, they used uplift from the Gulf. That's where all the moisture came from. But I'm sure you guys know the saying, don't shoot the messenger. Well, I have some information for you that is beginning to show up on charts. And it's not looking promising because we may be dealing with yet another nor'easter between the days of March 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then after that, there is a weird anomaly I saw on Tropical Tidbits that is off the coasts of, I want to say, Florida, Georgia, South, and North Carolina. It looks like it's going to affect those areas rain-wise, but the anomaly alone is actually pretty interesting. So let's take a look at what we could possibly be dealing with in the near future. Now, if you notice, I'm set on March 7th here. I'm going to back us up. I'm going to back us up to current time, which is right now. Here is our current nor'easter that is just leaving the coast now. I want you to see what happens here between the days. The days are right up here between March 7th and March 9th. Watch this. So I'm going to drag this along. Here's the 4th. Here's the 5th. You see a big low pressure system over the middle of the country here. And then watch. As we move forward, another low pressure forms right off the coast, off South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware Gap area. And same exact situation, guys. Two low pressure systems meeting right over the northeast. They begin to interact with each other, and boom. That could be yet another nor'easter about 5 days after experiencing one that we just had. Now, I have this pulled up again on a higher altitude view, and you can get a better idea of the rotation. We are still a few days out from this, so there could be changes in either direction, either forward or backwards. But nonetheless, guys, two low-pressure systems are the ingredients you need for these nor'easters. And to have one not even a week after one just passed is pretty significant. Now you can see here on the GFS, it doesn't look as defined as the one in the past, but if you remember when we were first starting to follow this past nor'easter with Winter Storm Riley, this thing looked exactly the same, and as days went on, these moisture bands began to pick up. But what you're looking at here is the rotation. That's how you know you could be dealing with the nor'easter when we get that counterclockwise rotation that brings that moisture out from the ocean, back up around areas of Maine, Vermont, stuff like that, New Hampshire, and then boom, right back down onto the northeast. And all depending on the temperature with the jet stream, that may be the same exact situation we just dealt with. A mix of snow and rain for some areas, but once again, heavy, heavy winds for the northeast coast. And you can see it right there, that low pressure. It dips in right off West Virginia, South Pennsylvania, through the Chesapeake Bay and Delaware, that water gap area. And then it wants to come right up here, and that is because there's another low that is moving across the top of Canada, or the bottom of Canada rather, top of the U.S., the border, right over the Great Lakes, begins to move down, and then they swing around each other in a counterclockwise motion. And you could see it right there. Certainly something to keep an eye out for. I'm sure this will be talked about in the upcoming days on your local weather and news, but look at this moisture here, guys. These are low systems are what we look for, even in tropical depressions. And I say that again because we are seeing areas in the Caribbean and in the Gulf of Mexico that are literally saying favorable conditions for tropical depressions. Guys, we are in the month of March. we had a tropical depression in the month of April last year, which was the first time since 2002 that that has happened. So 2017 was a record-breaking year. In my opinion, 2018 will be no different. We were going to have a very busy Atlantic hurricane season, and that is just based on the fact that the Gulf is in record warm temperatures right now, and so is the Caribbean. And that's not just my opinion. Those are facts. That is current water temperatures, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to put this warning out there, guys, that you may be seeing yet another round of newscast crews all over the Northeast reporting on this. Classic signs of another nor'easter. It all depends on what this other low pressure decides to do. If it stays west to east above the Great Lakes, it could help with the situation, but because of the jet stream, that low may come down. It may push underneath this low, just like we just experienced. Same thing, if you notice this, low pressure here, there's a low pressure that came down underneath it, and that's what caused that spin. And that's why you get those high winds. So there you have it, guys. I have another video I'm preparing to put out about the Atlantic hurricane season and how the favorable conditions are already present in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Basically, we did not see this last year until about mid-April, which is when we got that first tropical depression. So the data's there, guys. That's what I do. I read the data for you. I don't make these predictions. I go by what I see on the charts, and I report it to you, and I try to keep everybody informed on it. So I hope everyone got through this okay. I know there's a lot of power outages. Good luck to you guys. Watch the roads, watch the downed trees, and of course watch your backs while shoveling. I'll talk to you guys all in a couple hours. Thank you all for listening. Bye-bye. Oh, and before I let you guys go, I almost forgot. I want you to check out this pretty interesting weather anomaly that happens around the 12th and 13th. So, once again, just to recap, we had our nor'easter that just came, and now we have another one that's possibly forming. Again, this isn't set in stone yet, but the signs are all right there. That's when you get that whip up, just like Grayson. If you go look at the shape of Winter Storm Grayson, it pulled that moisture out of the Caribbean by the Bahamas, and then it fueled itself with that low pressure in the cold air and turned it all into snow. That's why Grayson was considered a nor'easter as well. We just finished this nor'easter with Winter Storm Riley, and then check out this system that wants to form right after that. As we move into the days of the 11th and 12th, that is a big moisture system with a very big low pressure to power it. And then check this out, right after it gets to the coast, this is going to affect literally from Florida all the way up into Long Island, and then it cuts right in along Massachusetts and Connecticut. And then check this out as it gets into the Atlantic Ocean. Look at those spotty storms. That is very interesting to see. It's rare when you get to see these patterns like this. So I wanted to point that out to you guys before we ended this video. So once again, thank you for listening. You will hear from me in a couple hours. Thank you very much.